Hello everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation and a bloody tale on the legacy of Nazi medical experiments. I'm going to start with the socio-cultural health programs that Nazis promoted while they were in power. In the early 1920s they launched a countrywide campaign against tobacco and smoking as they thought it was a plague, describing it as lung masturbation. During the same decade, they launched campaigns against alcoholism, for breast self-examination to detect issues and lumps earlier, identified the dangers of pesticides such as DDT, developed the first high-powered electron microscope. However, by the 1930s and into the 40s, developments such as anti-malarial chloroquine, methadone, methamphetamines, and significant research into hypothermia, hypoxia, and dehydration were all results of forced human experimentation and concentration camps. Initially, the German medical establishment was amplified as a world leader in medical research and innovative public health. Yet, as forced sterilizations and over 6 million deaths, the results of this medical research can be ethically ambiguous. Universities in Germany and later Poland, Austria, and the Czech Republic were accepting the corpses of people killed by the Nazi regime in their anatomy departments. The resulting anatomical research stemming from these bodies is a massive influence on current medical science. Some cell, bone, and tissue samples currently in German, Polish, and Austrian universities from these bodies still exist today. The use of prisoners is not new. It wasn't then. The use of prisoners in medical research wasn't new back at this time, in 1700 France, the bodies of the poor were widely used, and in 1832, British law legally allowed the unclaimed bodies of prisoners or workhouse deaths could be medically utilised or utilised by the medical profession. For German anatomists who gained this influx of corpses from the Nazis, they also gained unprecedented access to women's bodies. Cultural norms meant women not only received substandard medical care, but no anatomical studies meant that they were considered substandard to men. However, German anatomists, less affected by the systematic racism tumbling around them, utilised this boon in female bodies to study them. In fact, there are detailed nerve images and anatomical plates in Eduardo Perknoff's Atlas of Topographical and Applied Human Anatomy and Surgical Practice. So there are medical texts that exist today that still have some of the detailed medical drawings from these bodies. So, however, just bear in mind that the use of these texts in applied human anatomy are kind of also controversial. While ethical debates continue regarding how this material was gained, and criticism is also aimed at methodology, data integrity, and racial ideology that skewer the data to reflect this, some argue that it would be unethical to gather such data again under any circumstances, and that not utilising the data that already exists is equally just as bad. The Dachau freezing experiments, also the hypothermia studies and phosphine gas experiments have both been utilised in research and accused have providing fraudulent data sets. The research into what produces healthy children, and so that kind of links back to what I was saying at the start, is that they promoted anti-alcohol and anti-tobacco smoking so that they could produce healthier children. So they, in their research, they promoted all of these types of things, and promoted the health of women in diet and exercise, and by not drinking and smoking, found a significant portion of the evolution of healthy women, children, culture, and country rhetoric that is seen today. How we view pregnancy, health, and anatomy was, to an extent, a result of the Nazi policy during their regime and their eugenics and research programs. So that's how it kind of relates. This is a massive and significant topic. Obviously, there's a lot out there, and there's a lot of commentary about the Nazis and their experiments. But I just kind of thought it was interesting that essentially a lot of the anatomical knowledge that we gained about women's bodies was from a lot of these corpses that were sent to German, Austrian, and Polish's anatomical doctors. Outside of that, thank you for watching. Enjoy your morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on where you are in the day. And I, of course, will see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.